That bitch nigga, and it's like that. Welcome back to another episode. Fuck is you talking about? You're rocking with the best. Fuck is you talking about? Fuck the rest. We finna get into another War at Cali episode, and we finna see what the fuck is going on in California. Yeah. Um, last time I believe we had did like an episode on like this Mexican killing this dude on his front porch for his family crib. I really hope people go back and look at that because that was actually a decent ass situation because it really goes to show you that a lot of times niggas don't be thinking and you already know you got beef with Mexicans and Hispanics. Why would you believe a Mexican is gonna pull up just buy some weed from you? Like I don't know.
Welcome back to another episode of Warren Cali. The rise of Crips began in the early 1970s, rooted in South Central Los Angeles and nearby Compton. Early figures often associated with its formation include Raymond Washington and Stanley Tookie Williams. At the start, it was not a single unified gang, but a collection of neighborhood-based groups that adopted a shared identity. The early cliques were driven by the need for protection, recognition, and belonging in communities where opportunities were limited and tension was always present. As more neighborhoods began claiming the Crip identity, the group expanded rapidly, spanning across South Central and building a reputation that drew both recruits and also rivals. As the Crips grew in size and influence, other neighborhood groups began forming alliances and oppositions. These alliances became known as the Bloods, emerging in the mid-1970s. The Bloods were like a coalition of independent sets based all in Los Angeles County. Their formation marked a turning point, creating a clear divide that would define gang wars in Los Angeles and other places for decades. The Bloods developed their own identity, symbols, territory, and the rivalry between them and the Crips quickly intensified. By the mid to late 70s, the emergence of the Bloods created a clear opposition to the Crips, and the division intensified conflicts across South Central and other places. Now neighborhoods were now more formally aligned, and identity became tied to either side. Violence during this time period became more structured, where retaliation played a central role. Shootings became more frequent. By the end of the 70s decade, gang identity was deeply embedded, and cycles of retaliation were becoming more predictable and ongoing rather than isolated incidents. And that leads us to the story. One of those Crip sets that emerged was the Rolling 30 Crips. They were originally known as the Harlem Godfathers during the early 70s, making them one of the oldest Crip sets in South Central. Beginning from the Jefferson Park area of Los Angeles, the Rolling 30s consist of the avenues, Dinker Park, 35th, 37th, and 39th Street as their cliques. On the other side, the Rolling 30 has several rivals, some of their main rivals being Bloods, like BPS, and the Rolling 20 Bloods. BPS and the 20 Bloods both have a long history just like the 30s, dating back over 50 years ago, becoming Bloods in the 70s. They became one of the Los Angeles deadliest blood gangs in history, with numbers and a lot of reputable members. Being surrounded by a lot of respected Crip gangs, they had to be active. With being so close to distance to the 30 Crips, 20s and BPS would be instant rivals of them. Their war still goes on today, which many lives have been taken from their war. Their war has been documented in documentaries and several books like Rolling 30 Crip Colton CeeLo Simpson's book, Inside the Crips, along with 20 Bloods' book, Terrell Loco Wright. He published a book called Home of the Body Bags that chronicles his life in the gang during the 80s and 90s and what prison has been like for him during the 2000s. Edwin Smith, also known as Black Ed, was an active member in that war, but he was on the Rolling 30 Crip side. He gained a fierce reputation at a young age. He was known for selling drugs and also being an active shooter. And the Bloods were always his target, which the Rolling 20 Bloods and the Black P Stones, also known as BPS, were always the Bloods he was aiming for. By 1984, Ed was a 19-year-old high school dropout. The streets fully took over his life, and he was fully committed to his gang and killing rivals. He was known as someone always looking for issues and trying to further his reputation. By January 1984, the war was full-fledged between the 30s and the Bloods. Dorsey High School in South Central was a safe haven for Bloods, and Crips knew if he wanted to catch a Blood, Dorsey was the place to be.
I want to say this right quick. It's funny because Chicago got a Black P Stone, like gang or whatever. Like that's the funny part, and the crazy part about this is the closeness of all of this is that they share the same colors, and I believe they share the same sign, and I believe they still under the same like point star, or whatever, like what the pyramids, however that shit work. I'm not too for sure or certain. as far as like the blood. So, but I know for a fact like they got a lot of qualities that they share like like I just really was just pointing out the fact that like they share the same colors because BPSN out here like it's a different, it's not, they don't consider themselves bloods, they just consider themselves stones, black stones. Or but the thing is they still wear red and black, like their colors is red and black. um but also the vice lords out here wear red and black, so that's another thing too I could say.
Several blood members going to that school, including bloods from the 20s and BPS.
Dorsey is primarily a blood school. That is that the majority of gang members that go there are bloods. Although there are a few Crips, but they keep a very, very low profile.
Around 2 p.m., Black Ed and several Crips waited outside of Dorsey High School while several students were hanging out and some were leaving the school. Several blood members began to emerge, and both the Crip side and the blood group began to trade insults, which led to a confrontation, and bullets began to fly. 2 people would be shot. A blood gang member named Ronald Gregory, who was 25, was killed, and a 17-year-old high school junior named Ernest Pickett Jr. Sad case about this, Ernest was not even a gang member. He was an honor roll student with a bright future. He was also a highly recruited baseball star with several D1 offers.
Bring it on! Down to the top! Bring it on!
I'm sorry, but this used to be one of the corniest shits that used to be on TV, was fucking America's Most Wanted. It's just how they used to reenact the crime and make it look like, I don't know, it used to look like on some soap opera shit. It never looked serious to me. It always looked like a joke. But when you actually like end up looking into the crimes and end up looking at the people that they looking for, you end up finding some horrific shit that they doing. But this shit make it look like they on an episode of Power Rangers or some shit.
Somebody get some help! Somebody help!
Police say bullets fired by Edwin Smith killed a 25-year-old gang member, fatally wounded 17-year-old Ernie Pickett. Ernie was shot in the back. Doctors could not save his life.
My husband met me at the door and he said, come on in, honey. We have some bad news for you. And I knew it was Ernie. I don't know how I knew, but I knew it was Ernie. I didn't have any idea that he was dead.
Chris Harris joined family and friends.
In the beginning, the entire community rallied around Ernie's mother and family. The story was big news, and there was a strong sense of outrage.
The gangs decided that they would go to school of all places to have a war, to shoot at other people.
After several people identified Ed as the shooter, he was later arrested. The incident stunned the student body at Dorsey, where Ernest Pickett was a beloved and popular classmate, but despite the presence of hundreds of witnesses, police could not get nobody to testify. Many later said that they were threatened with violence if they did. Many 30 Crip members were scaring off witnesses, and that eventually led to Ed being released and not being charged for the murders.
Student eyewitnesses told police they saw Smith kill Ernie Pickett. It looked like an open and shut case. But when it came time for the preliminary hearing, no one stepped forward to testify. The students were scared to death. Some said they were threatened with retaliation if they spoke up.
They just let you know not to say anything. So they didn't have to tell us what they would do. Hurting somebody or killing somebody, it didn't make any difference to them. If they said, don't say anything, we didn't say anything.
On April 4th, 1984, the court dismissed all charges against Smith. He was free.
Insufficient evidence, the judge said.
Nigga, this was back when Tattletale would get your ass popped, nigga. Fuck is you talking about? Back now, they don't do this shit no more. They not even finna come looking for you. They might even come kicking with you at the bar now, nigga. They don't even have no problem with you, nigga. They fucking with you now, nigga. They gonna listen to their music still, nigga. Back in the day, though, they'll pop your ass with some shit like that. Don't matter if you was a civilian or not. As much as people be liking to say it's civilian, even with the mob, they was also popping civilians or like paying them off and shit like that just to get them off their coattail. So I hate when niggas be like, oh man, No, they'll pop with anybody for doing anything like that, for getting on the stand and taking a stand and pointing somebody out. That shit was real back then.
No witnesses would talk, and as time passed, the case went away. Like so many Los Angeles gang murders in that time, he was freed after the 1984 arrest, but he continued in his crime career, police said. Detectives said he was racking up a number of arrests in the years that followed. In January of '93, a woman with a great track record of cracking cold cases was assigned to take over the manhunt. And in October of 1993, Black Ed by then was a seasoned cocaine trafficker, and he was connected to a third man's murder. And the witnesses finally came forward after a speech at a halfway house. In fact, police said they believed that Ed killed another man as recently as October 6, 1993, and a warrant was issued for his arrest. The victim in the case was a man named Ronald Dean Miller. He was an ex-convict, and he was counseling children. Many state that he was a gang member. After this, police was on his trails. After a tip from a viewer on a television show called America Most Wanted, which came out in 1995, they premiered an episode showing Black Ed's crimes and blasted him all over the TV.
10 years to see her son's accused murder brought to justice. Help us find gang member Edwin Smith. He's wanted on 3 counts of murder. Smith is 29 years old, 6 feet tall, and 185 pounds. May have grown his hair long, may be wearing a full beard and mustache. Smith has several tattoos. The letters RTC on his left arm, the number 30 on the right arm, and Harlem Crip on his left forearm. His nickname is Black Ed. He sometimes uses the alias Jeff Lewis. Police say he makes a living selling drugs and has a very violent temper. Los Angeles police believe Smith may be on the run with this man, Kenneth Richardson. Both are wanted for the murder of a man in 1993. Kenneth Richardson is another Crip gang member who goes by the alias Kenneth Boyd. If you've seen either one of these men, call our hotline at...
The new detective built a new case against Ed. Detectives received a tip from a caller who recognized the last 4 digits on car Ed was driving. They searched DMV records and found a red Camaro registered to another name at Lancaster. Ed was using a different name, and he was now about 50 pounds heavier and wearing prescription glasses in his photo. Detectives found Ed living with a woman and his 5-year-old son. They stated, "It's a great feeling to know that after 2 years of hard work, it finally came together." They also stated, "It would have not happened if not for the public's presence." Black Ed was later sentenced to 32 years to life in prison for 3 murders. This will conclude this episode. If you haven't already, check out my previous episode.
God damn. God damn, he got all them goddamn years. My nigga, half the time when you running around doing like reckless shit at such an early age, he literally lost his life at the prime of his life. Like, he was only about to be probably 30 what that year or the next year or however. And it's sad to see niggas go out like that. Either they going out like that or they going out in the casket over some dumb shit. Like, he didn't even probably... Shit, I don't know, man. As far as this one situation goes, because they didn't give us too many details on shit. But if he was on the run for that long and they out there still committing murders, the killer part is you still being identified. Like, you ain't learned your lesson throughout when you first killed the nigga. Like, you got caught. So you just really didn't get no fuck because you was on the run. Another thing is, shit, even though you think, especially in today's society, bro, you can run away. But one thing about this shit is, I be confused as to why niggas stay in the same United States of America country. Like, what are you still doing here, nigga? You need to take your ass overseas, nigga. You need to get your boat. Especially back then, he should have bought him a boat or some shit. You got me fucked up, but it's because your mindset is already attached to what you know and what you're comfortable with. And that's the main thing with today. Like, you can't go nowhere for real. Where you gonna go? So when them people looking for you, know at some point you gonna get caught. So enjoy your time out on the run, because it don't last long, because there's so many cameras out today. So many people out with camera phones today, and you never know who watching or paying attention and who not. So that's another thing I want to say as far as like for the young niggas out there, like doing crimes is so much different now. Like, you can't be gone for this long. Like, so many people from back in the day actually had times where they was able to just get away for a while and not get caught for a little while. But you always gonna get caught at some point. But this was probably like the last era where you could run somewhere and not get caught. But y'all let me know what the fuck y'all think. Like, subscribe on my
These niggas is lurking, I'm serving. Watch your curtains, these hoes be perking. OG told me, boy, watch your back. Hey, these niggas bound to attack.